Hello and welcome to another edition of Batavia Muckdog Baseball here on YouTube Live. We have another game, the sixth already of the season against the Elmira Pioneers as we are here in beautiful Elmira, New York at Dunn Field. Have a lot of action for you here today after yesterday's exhibition game where Cameron Connolly had the walk-off 2 RBI single in the bottom of the ninth inning as the Muckdogs came back from 5-1 down to win that game. We're about to get things started here tonight, as there was some things going on last night, things that, unfortunately, due to the teams being owned by the same ownership, things that I'm currently not allowed to really go deep into as the cause for things, but we'll get into that a little bit later. As now I will present you your Tompkins Bank of Castile starting lineups. Going with the similar lineup yesterday in terms of structure, but the normal starters are back in after yesterday's exhibition game. So leading off will be Cameron Connolly playing second base. Abner Benitez is back in the starting lineup, playing left field and batting second. Spencer Marcus, the red-hot right fielder, is batting third and playing right. Charlie County in the cleanup role, he's playing short today. Daniel Burroway back as the DH. Today he's hitting fifth instead of fourth. Jerry Reinhart is hitting sixth and playing third base. Blair Frederick is, after last night playing left field, he'll be in center field tonight and batting seventh. Bryce Mortellaro, after a few game absence, dealing with some neck and back issues, he's back in the lineup tonight and he will be catching as well as hitting eighth in the Muckdog lineup. Joe Georger gets his second straight start at first base. And then Trey Bacon, 2 appearances in a row for him as well, as he will be the number 10 man in the Muckdog lineup as the EH tonight. Starting pitcher for the Muckdogs will be Dathan McGrath. We've seen him have some starts so far this year, going deeper into games as the season has went on. So we are excited to see what he can do as well. Elmira, after yesterday having a lot of pitchers play in the field and also in their lineup, going back to a more traditional lineup that we saw last week around this time, as there was the home and home series last week that the Muckdogs did sweep in. Don Popa, Donovan Montgomery, Cam Hill, Ben Shore, the Auburn guys. First time that we're seeing Bobby Marsh, the first baseman from FAU. Chris Erickson, we saw him play third base last night. He's back in center field. South Trimble playing second. Aaron Thomas is in left field. Justin Taylor at third. Gil Murad, saw him pitch last night. He is the DH. And then we'll have Wilder back on the mound. So as the national anthem is wrapping up here, we'll be back in a few minutes with first pitch coming at you in just a few minutes. And hello, welcome back here to Dunfield as you have more action here in the Perfect Game League. Tonight's game will count between your Batavia Muckdogs and the Elmira Pioneers. Hello again, I'm Griffin Della Penna, bringing you alongside all the action here tonight. As last night, these two teams squared off again for the fifth time last night. Last night's game did not count, however, even though that was the first time this season that there was an exhibition game in the Perfect Game League between two teams that are in the same division. We saw that a week prior as the Mansfield Destroyers came to town, a team that's in the NYCBL, but this was the first time that we saw an exhibition game like this. Next week will be the exact same thing. After some mischief that happened, some antics that I would like to call it, happened last night between both teams, as don't really know what you're going to expect considering how many times these guys will play against one another. If you count tonight's game that still hasn't started yet, they have 9 games still left to play one another. And with playing a team that many times, as a lot of those games have been down to the wire and extremely competitive, as the first pitch from Holden Wilder will be up and in for a ball. Holden Wilder, the right-hander from Wofford College. Here's Cam Connolly, the hero last night. Was the youngest guy on the Muckdog roster, came up clutch when they needed him most. Started off the game with a leadoff triple deep in the right center gap. It's a stand-up triple and had a double where he later scored. And then with bases loaded and 1 out, down 1, came up big with a inside-outed fastball on the outer half of the plate. And just smoked it right underneath the glove of the first baseman. That scored 2 runs, and the game was over. First walk-off of the season for the Muckdogs. They've been in that position many times, as Ben Shore can't squeeze that one, but it's still called a strike on the outer half. So Cam Connolly has really came into his own here. Got a lot of confidence so far with the bat. For last night, he's hitting over 500 on the year, as that one is hit right back up the middle, the 3-2, and Cam Connolly picks up right where he left off from yesterday with a single right up the middle. If you're a Muckdog fan, that is exactly what you want to see. The Pepperdine University commit will be there in the fall with a single to start off this one. So now here's Abner Benitez. He came into the game as a pinch hitter last night in the 8th inning and had 2 singles in last night's game. Due to last night it being an exhibition game, those stats won't necessarily count towards their actual season stats that are part of the games that will deal with their records. So that one is also hit into shallow center field. Chasing after it is Erickson, and that one will drop as well. So back-to-back base knocks to start off the night for the Muckdogs. Last night they did have, again, double-digit hits. 2 hits in the first inning. They started out pretty hot, 5 hits in the first 3 innings. Kind of went through a lull. But then 3 hits in the 8th that scored 2 runs, and then Cam Connolly as well. So want to keep that trend going, because when we've seen Muckdog wins, that's when their offense is putting balls in play, limiting the strikeout numbers. And their pitching is also limiting walks, and free pass has been something that we've seen all across the Perfect Game League up to this point. With it being so early in the year with these pitchers, as the season goes on, I expect to see a lot more command. As now here's Spencer Marcus. He'll take the 1-0 fastball called for a strike. Spencer Marcus, so far this season, is hitting .486. So very impressive stuff from the Niagara University right fielder. And that one will be outside as well. Wilder finding himself in a little bit of trouble here with nobody out. 2 men on. Spencer Marcus due up here as the Muckdogs want to get ahead of this one early, as it is superhero night here at Dunfield. And the 2-1. That one's hit into right field, going into the corner, and it will be foul. Try to do a little bit better of a job panning the camera for you guys. It's something that, I wish I had somebody up here with me. If anybody that's watching would be interested in doing that for me at home games, I would love for you to reach out. As with my job, I'm keeping track of the score bug that's located in the top left corner. I'm trying to give you guys, the best insight on the game, as well as keeping a book, trying to stay up on stats with all my different papers, and a still shot is kind of the way to go when you're a one-man crew. There's a full count to Spencer Marcus, as we always see him get very low in his stance with 2 strikes on him, and that one will be an upstairs fastball, and Spencer Marcus will go down on strikes. That's something that you don't really see a lot. A guy that in those situations has shown time and time again that he'll just put the ball in play. That one appeared to be a little high. Again, I am 5 stories up in the air, so I don't have the best vantage point. For all of you joining us now, thank you for watching your Batavia Muckdogs here on YouTube Live. With 1 out and 2 men on, here is Charlie Ciccone. That one hit into right field, and that one chasing back after it will be the right fielder Popa. That's going to go off the wall. Now 2 runs will score as Cam Connolly comes around. Charlie Ciccone is going, and the play at the plate will not be in time. That's going to get back towards Wilder, that was behind the plate. And Charlie Ciccone, first pitch he sees, he smacks a 2 RBI triple, and your Muckdogs are up early in this one, 2-0. That pitch was just middle, got way too much of the plate, and Ciccone makes him pay for it. As this is a very tough stadium to see the ball travel in with how high the walls are. Its dimensions are similar to Dwyer Stadium with 325 down the line. It's a lot shorter in center field, but you have to give a ball a ride if you want it to get out. As Daniel Burraway now with the infield in, and 1 out in the inning. His first pitch from Wilder is a ball. Burraway last night did have 2 RBIs on 2 singles. Ciccone with a lot of speed at third base, as that one is an off-speed pitch swung on and missed. It's a great sign for all the adversity that happened last night for the Muckdogs, coming back from a 5-1 deficit as Burraway swings and misses for the 2nd straight pitch, with the count now 1-2. For them to keep the train rolling, continue to put balls in plays, compared to last night with some position players also pitching, as that one's hit into foul ground. Chasing after it will be Popa, and he can't get there in time. So the count will stay at 1-2. Here is Burraway. And a 1-2 count again. The pitch from Wilder, a great slider, and it'll be out number 2 as Wilder picks up his 2nd strikeout. So the infield will go back to their normal range with there now being 2 outs. Don't have to get the run at the plate, as a 3-0 deficit with the first ups here in the first is an ideal scenario. Jerry Reinhart can still make that happen here. So the number 6 man in the Muckdog lineup comes up with Ciccone on third, as Reinhart swings through another great slider. It's a money pitch if you're a righty on righty matchup. You really want to tease the hitter and think that that's going to be an off-speed pitch that's going to get a lot of the plate, and once it gets closer to him, will dart to the outer half and sometimes even go into the other batter's box. That one is inside, a late strike call, as that one looked like it got the white of the batter's box. So first call that we've seen from our home plate umpire on the inner half of the plate. Reinhardt has to clutch up here as he hits one into center field. Erickson chases after it, and that will be the end of the inning. Muckdogs bring 2 across here in the top of the first inning. After Charles County, the first pitch he sees, he hits a one-hopper off the wall here at Dunn Field. Your Muckdogs, a 2-run lead with Dathan McGrath heading out to the mound. We are back here with Batavia Muckdog coverage here on YouTube Live as Dathan McGrath is ready to go in the bottom of the first inning. As McGrath, a right-handed pitcher that attends West Texas A&M University, finished up his sophomore year. 6'5", 195, originally from Cedar Park, Texas. He also spent time at Tyler Junior College and then was a walk-on at Western Texas 2020 with the Western Texas Westoneers. McGrath tossed 9 innings while recording 6 strikeouts. The first pitch by McGrath will be in there for a strike against the right fielder, Dom Popa. We've seen Popa so far have some great games for the Pios. He's been a player of the night in the Perfect Game League multiple times. Jerry Reinhardt chasing after it, and for a guy that's 6 foot, 210 pounds, he can absolutely fly. As that ball was hit probably around 70 feet away from him, and he almost hawked it down before it went out of play. So now McGrath is ahead in the count, 0-2. For the Pios, it'll be Popa, Donovan Montgomery, and Cam Hill to start off. Popa stays alive after following one off to the left side. Does look like we had some faithful Muckdogs in attendance here tonight. It's last night's game that looked like it was going to be rained out. It's an exhibition game that essentially doesn't mean anything towards your actual record and standings here in the Patriot Division, the western half of New York State. But the show went on as 1-2, just a bit upstairs. Popa now evens it up at 2-2. Some really bad storms came out of nowhere right around 6:30, lingered for a little bit. Some thunderstorms, that one's put into play out towards right field. Spencer Marcus will get there in time. And the game that was supposed to start at 7:05, after the tarp was taken off and both teams agreed, as well as the umpires. First pitch was at 8:04. First pitch tonight starting at 7:06. So 1 out here for McGrath. First pitch slider in there for a strike to Donovan Montgomery. Another strike So far, McGrath is getting ahead in the count to the Pios. McGrath will get the sign. And the pitch to Montgomery will be popped up into foul ground. Chasing after it is Joe Georgia. Falling is Cam Connolly, and coming down with it is Joe Georgia. So Connolly takes a tumble, and Georgia was going to be the guy to make the play regardless. So seems like Cam Connolly is okay, thankfully. So with how he's playing, he's going to have to be a necessity in the lineup. So quickly with 2 down, as McGrath is the type of guy that pitches to contact. He's not going to overpower you with his stuff by any means, but he has great command, great location with his off-speed, as that one is almost caught up the middle by McGrath. That was a broken bat single for Cam Hill. So that nice Victus is now probably going to go to a fan. That would have been a great catch. Momentum boost for the Muckdogs if McGrath could have came down with that one. So with 2 down here in the inning, 1 man on. Here is the Auburn catcher, Ben Shore. So seeing him have some great games so far against the Muckdogs. First one that comes to mind is a 3-for-4 game with 3 RBIs. And Shore so far this year is hitting .273. Not really any absurdly high batting averages. That's going to be another broken bat, but another single as the 2 Auburn University freshmen put the ball in play and good things happen. So McGrath now in a very similar situation as Wilder, with 2 men on and 2 out. Now stepping to the plate is Bobby Marsh. First time we've seen him so far this year. As Bobby Marsh has only had 2 ABs, hitting .500 on the year. Does have a double. First baseman from FAU. We've seen Cam Hill play a lot of first base. Pretty good defensively as well. Just testing out the waters to see what Marsh can do there. As that pitch will clip the outside corner for a strike. The only man that was in the lineup last night for the Pios was Chris Erickson, who played third base last night. Plays infield at Siena, but we've seen him all summer long be locked in center field. That one fouled away. Now the count is 0-2 to the left-handed hitter from Florida Atlantic University. Muckdogs last night, only guys that were in the lineup for them were Burraway as the DH and Joe Georgia, his brother's Trey Bacon, who came in and pitched. That was also the extra hitter, as that one's hit out Connolly's way, and he will come down with it. So 2 men on, both left on the base pass by McGrath, as with 1 inning in the books, your Muckdogs are up in this one 2-0. Wilder has his last few warm-up pitches. We just saw the in-game host, Crispy, the game dressed like a pioneer down the first baseline as getting things underway here in the top of the second inning for your Muck Dogs will be Blair Frederick, Bryce Mortellaro, and Joe Georger. If you'd like to follow tonight's game on pointstreak.com, you can see live stats that will be updated throughout the game, as well as the other stats that I will be mentioning previous to this one, as that one's hit into center field. Chasing back after it is Erickson, and a Willie Mays-esque catch out there in center, going all the way to the wall, and coming down with it. Very impressive stuff right there by Erickson. Over the shoulder, coming down with it is Blair Frederick. We've seen him get robbed a few times now. First one that comes to mind is back last Friday night, his first game with the Muck Dogs. Had a line drive that was snagged by the Red Wing closer Gassler. That was the end of the game as the bases loaded and 1 out. Had a double play. That one ricochets off our umpire on the foul ball. Bryce Mortellaro, first time that we're seeing him in the lineup in a few days, as he was dealing with some pretty nagging and gruesome neck and back pinched nerves and a bunch of really bad kinks in his neck, so feels good to go. Joey Batavia, the other catcher on the Muck Dog roster, is also pretty banged up. Wouldn't be surprised if in the coming days there's an announcement, of the Muck Dogs signing another catcher. Because Mitch Fleming does great behind the plate, don't get me wrong. That's just not his primary position. Is going over to his right, the second baseman Trimble. And there's the second out. So with 2 down now in the inning after Frederick and Mortellaro are retired, here is Joe Georger. Like I said, played last night. Plays a great defensive first base. He's made a lot of picks so far this year that really impress you. You wonder why he is not an everyday player at Washington University at St. Louis, as we've seen also multiple times him jump on that first pitch that he sees, and he gets another single. As Skip Martinez has described him as playing out a contact machine. He will do whatever it takes to get on base. Here's another guy that is a contact guy, Trey Bacon now. Saw Trey have a great appearance on the mound in relief. Had back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings in the 8th and 9th inning. Also had a single yesterday as well. So here's the 0-1 from Wilder. That will be downstairs for a ball. And now that a lot more Muck Dogs are reporting, still waiting on a few more guys. Like their positions as we are translating into the 3rd week almost here in Batavia with this team. Their roles are kind of being cemented as to the depth chart and where certain guys are going to play. If they're utility guys like Charlie Ciccone, he's been primarily a middle infield guy. That one will also be outside. Just missed. Wilder trying to retire this side, leaving Joe Georger on first base, as now he's in a 2-2 count with 2 outs. As the pitch comes from Wilder, big swing and a miss, and inning over. As Joe Georger gets a 2-out hit, but will be left stranded as Wilder hones in after giving 2 runs in the first frame. The score will be 2-0 heading into the bottom of the 2nd inning, with center fielder who made a great catch, Chris Erickson, due up first. South Trimble and Aaron Thomas due up for the Pioneers. here in the bottom of the second now. Here is Chris Erickson as he steps in. For this season with the bat, sitting just under 260 at 259. He is 7 for 27. That one will be rolled over and foul. Again, last night these two teams did play each other in an exhibition game. Muckdogs came out on top. If you want to count it, then the season series so far is 4-1 in favor of the Muckdogs. A big swing and miss there by Erickson. And a nice comeback for the Dogs as they were down 5-1 heading into the 8th inning. Got 2 runs in the 8th and then walked it off in the 9th. And it was a great night at the ballpark. Didn't even know if we were going to get the game in due to some inclement weather with thunderstorms, and it was raining sideways at one point. So the 1-2 will just be a little bit inside, even up at 2-2. But the game did get in. It was a great time. Our in-game host, John Kindig, did an amazing job as him and assistant GM Tyler Beninati. They raced each other at one point. Had Spencer Graff, our official scorekeeper, up there doing a great job, and then Tom Rowan as well, as he's the new music guy. He's been doing a great job as well. So we have a great crew in Batavia, also including Paul Spiata, our PA announcer, as Erickson lines one into shallow right for another single. So he will be over 260 now for the season. But it has been a great group of guys at Batavia, as we have seen some huge crowds so far this season at Dwyer Stadium. These fans are just extremely happy to have their hometown team back, regardless if they're playing with minor league baseball or not. It's still baseball being played, and they are bought in. The organization is being built up great by owner Robbie Nichols, as that's chopped over to Ryan Hart. He'll think about throwing, and it's actually going to be a dead ball as that hit South Trimble in the box, the infielder from George Mason University. But owner Robbie Nichols, who also does own Elmira, this is his 10th year owning them, his wife, Miss Nellie. So that's why it was very interesting last night with all the antics that went on. A lot of it is just it brewing over time with these teams. So early in the year, already played each other 6 times. When you see a team that much, you know, a lot of chirping goes on, and again, some things were said by both teams. As there's a bunt laid down by Tremble, that will be a foul ball. Smartly right there. Bryce Mortolaro touches it as the ball hooked foul. Trumbull finds himself in a 1-2 count. Dathan McGrath still on the mound, trying to get a double play ball. Skip Martinez and assistant coach Tony Brewington have done a great job controlling the locker room. I'm very happy with the improvement that they've had from their first few games of the season. Everybody's bought in. They're all excited to be here. A lot of good things are changing, as that one will be strike 3. Never mind, they're saying that Mortolaro did not hang on. It was a foul ball, so Trumbull will get back in the box. This is by far one of the closest groups that I've ever seen. That one's hit into play, over to McGrath. He's going to think about going 2, and smartly he'll just throw it underhand over to Georgia to get the first out here in the bottom of the first, or excuse me, in the bottom of the second. That's what I'm talking about, being a one-man show up here sometimes. All I did was look at the first inning, and so much going on, you can get a little distracted quickly. But Mr. Mozicki, I wish I could play the Rocky theme song unfortunately, one, I would probably get copyrighted for it, but two, I'm told to not talk too much about what happened last night. Management was not too happy with some of the things that I had to say regarding last night, and things were said between both teams, and things that I would never want to say on air or say to the opposite gender of me, but that's for them to figure out, and for me to just do my job and call these games. And I think so far up to this point, I've done a pretty good job calling an even game, and just, from what I saw last night, some actions that were made from the opposing team were not something that I was in favor of, and I'll just keep it at that. But there's a rollover by Aaron Thomas. Is that one on the 2-0? Not the swing he was really looking for right there, as you can tell. He's a little upset with himself. So now with a man on second after the fielder's choice, here is Aaron Thomas in a 2-1 count. McGrath will look over at Erickson, the pitch, and time was called. So 2-1 now. McGrath throws, deals, and that one could almost caught up here in the press box. Is it up at 2-2? I'm waiting. We come here so many more times. I just feel it coming as the games have went on. These balls are getting closer and closer to me up here. And that would be pretty cool to catch one mid-broadcast. So I always try to stay alive, as that one will be fanned on by Thomas as McGrath gets out number 2. So it will be interesting after everything that happened last night how these two teams will interact with one another, as they have both been told by the league, by the ownership, as well as their coaches have been brought in for meetings, that things like that cannot transpire regardless, just in general. I mean, with the two teams being owned in the same ownership, that makes it much worse, which I agree with. It's just some of the things that were said, you just can't say to people. And again, two men with great integrity, two coaches, Joe Martinez and Tony Brewington, doing a great job with controlling their locker room, and people can have whatever thoughts that they might assume of what was said and what happened last night. And if you're just watching the game, yeah, it might look like the team in red was in the wrong, but that one's hit over to Georgia. He picks it. Covering is McGrath, and McGrath with, again, another base runner left on second base, as McGrath gets his first strikeout of the night and gets a rollover by Justin Taylor. Your score is still 2-0, as we will head into the third inning with the top of the lineup due up, as Connolly, Benitez, and Marcus will get things rolling in the top of the third. we are back here with action here on YouTube Live as your Batavia Muckdogs are up in this one 2-0 with the top of the lineup due up here with Cam Connolly, who's been red hot, had a single in the first inning, and that's first pitch swinging, and that's lined into the gap again. Cam Connolly stays hot as he will be waved around to third base. The throw will not be in time, and Cam Connolly stays red hot as that right center gap has been his best friend with another extra base hit. And he is really coming into his own. And I'm just telling you folks right now, I would not be surprised if he will be a draft prospect after his sophomore year at Pepperdine. So another leadoff triple, had one back in the first inning yesterday. Now the infield will be in again on the grass is Abner Benitez, a guy that is a pull side hitter with his money spot right here in between first and second. Pretty wide open for him. 1-0, that one is hit off to the left side. Now the count will be 1-1. Trying to look down here without, falling face first 5 stories. Seems like there are a decent amount of fans here on a weeknight. That one is also hit into foul ground. So Abner, in this situation right here with no outs and a man on third, you really just can't go out via the strikeout. It's just putting the ball in play does wonders and increases your chances with the infield in. So again, there's a great fight by Benitez, who's trying to slap that one down the line and left to stay alive at 1-2. It's him and Skip Martinez look, kind of give each other a nod. And Benitez is going to go back to work here. And the pitch from Wilder, that one will be high. Benitez did single and came around to score as Ciccone brought him in. So far this season, Benitez hitting .357. So he did have 2 hits last night that didn't count, and he will continue to fight as that one will now be a foul ball off to the right side. Right-hander from Wofford trying to retire Benitez for the first out. On deck is one of the guys with the highest batting averages in the Perfect Game League with a certain amount of required at-bats. Can't just have a guy hitting 2 for 3. Spencer Marcus is due up next, and another foul ball by Benitez as he continues to fight. Really wants to win this battle here. Again, not ideal to go down via the strikeout here. Even a ball hit into the outfield with Connolly's speed could bring him home on a sac fly. So putting the ball out there will do wonders for you. As Benitez steps back in, he's ready to go. The pitch from Wilder, that one is hit and almost fair and foul, as it might be tough to explain, but if you see the first dead patch of grass out there towards the outfield grass, right where the dirt connects, ball was just about a foot foul. Go back to our normal camera view. Count still stands at 2-2. So this has been a great fight. And another 2-2, and Wilder will win this one as Benitez will go down on strikes for the first out here in the third. A man that did strike out in his last at-bat is Spencer Marcus. You very rarely see that occur, as the infield obviously will still be in with this spot, trying to limit the run scored as there's a great slider on the outer half by Wilder. Spencer Marcus so far hitting .457 with 16 hits and 35 at-bats. 3 doubles, a triple, and a home run. 10 RBIs. He has OPS at 1.254, which is sickening that it's that high. His on-base percentage is sitting at .568. So very impressive numbers, as that will be a quick strikeout. So Spencer Marcus now goes down on strikes in his first 2 at-bats, and now there's 2 down. So again, runners in scoring position has been an Achilles heel for this team so far this season, as they've already left County this game alone at third, as well as Joe Georger on the base paths. Done a better job with it in the recent games. That one's in the dirt, blocked by Ben Shore, ensuring that with this large backstop here at Dunn Field, that Connolly just can't scamper his way home. Now the 1-0, pitch from Wilder, and another foul ball. Wilder is doing a great job trying to get out of this jam here in the top of the third. Connolly with the leadoff triple, trying to score, as County also has a triple today with 2 RBIs. 1-1, that one will also be in the dirt. Muckdogs already with 5 hits so far. County's ahead in the count, 2-1. Wilder, that one is hit over to third. Takes a funny hop. Loving it will be the third baseman, Taylor. And a very impressive effort right there, as Wilder's hyping up his bench. And another runner is stranded at third base for the Muckdogs. So they will still have a 2-run lead, but that's a situation where you're expecting a little bit more out of your 2, 3, and 4 hitters. We'll be back in just a minute here at Dunn Field. We'll take the halfway point here in the third inning to thank some of our sponsors: Batavia Downs Gaming, Ficarella's Pizza, Alex's Place, Eli Fish Brewing Company, Noah Hoy Chiropractic, Tompkins Bank of Castile, United Memorial Medical Center, and New York 529 College Savings. We thank you for supporting our Muckdogs and keeping baseball here in Batavia. As getting things underway here in the bottom of the third inning will be the number 10 hitter, Gil Murad, the Ithaca College catcher. Saw him on the bump last night. He's getting a lot of cheers. Ithaca is relatively close to Elmira. That pitch looked like it was there for a strike, just a tad outside. Catherine McGrath now. That one is lined into right field, and Marcus will come down with it for the first out. Shifting things back up to the top of the order, here is Dom Popa. Popa flew out to Marcus in his first trip. Pitch from McGrath will be sliced foul. Dom Popa from University of Pittsburgh, a team that was ranked throughout the college baseball this season. In Division I, as Tularo can't hold on to that one. 1-1 count. Our clubby from Elmira is going to grab that one, and we'll play ball. McGrath from the stretch, just as always, guy from the stretch. A lot of starting pitchers on the Muckdogs feel a lot more comfortable from the stretch rather than from the full. I've realized that over the past few games. That one is spiked by McGrath. Make the count 3-1. So Bill Murad was retired to start off the inning. So Popa will step back in. McGrath trying to ensure that the leadoff man does not get on, as that one was nicked by Popa, as that got him right in the elbow Evo shield. There's a hit by pitch. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Now here will be Donovan Montgomery, a guy that is actually leading the Pioneers, that eligible guys in batting average. Montgomery so far this season, not really any huge outliers for the Pioneers in terms of batting average. Pretty consistent throughout the board. As right now, for the Pios, Montgomery's hitting .375. And will be inside for a ball. But if you look at their stats, they have Marsh, who is now hitting .333 with just 3 at-bats. Montgomery's at the top at .375. Cam Hill, a pitcher, is hitting .333. A nice throw by Mortellaro. That's going to scoot underneath the glove of Cam Connolly, and Popa goes first to third. Another ball as well. And on the scoreboard, it says that they're going to give Mortellaro an error on that, but it hasn't came up in the score column, so I'm a little confused with that, but will be stolen base by Popa. Yep. We're going to give Mortellaro the error on the throw. And the 2-0 count. Here is the number 2 man in the Pio order, Donovan Montgomery. He is their shortstop that just finished his first year at Siena College. He now is in a 3-0 count with the infield in. The Muckdogs are just up 2 runs early in this one. Montgomery, sometimes it's short, tries to be a little too flashy with the glove. Kind of been an error machine for them at points in time. Last time I was at Dunfield, here early last week, saw the Pios have 5 errors, and 3 of them were credited to Montgomery. So, as of late, things could have changed. I'm not too sure. I don't have their fielding stats handy. But back-to-back walks by McGrath is not really locating his off-speed stuff as efficient as he was to start out this game. With 1 out, runners on the corners. Trying to get the double play ball up the middle. They're going to put Montgomery in motion. He tries to throw it over to Ciccone to get Popa in a nice first and third play. They tried to do the same thing yesterday. It was not executed as well as yesterday. Fleming threw it down, and instead of getting the runner who was at third at the time, I can't remember, it was one of the pitchers for Elmira, he darted home, and the throw back was just not in time to nab him at home. So that's how they got one of their early runs. So they scored 3 runs in the third inning yesterday. So now 2 runners in scoring position and a 2-0 count for the number 3 hitter in the Pio order, Cam Hill. That one is sliced the other way, but foul. Cam Hill so far, he is hitting .333. That one is also fouled away to even up at 2-2. We've seen Wilder get out of some jams here with runners in scoring position. McGrath trying to do the same. So your Muckdogs are up 2-0 early in this one. Pitch by McGrath will be upstairs to make the count full. It's now With 2 runners in scoring position, the infield will be in to make sure Popa doesn't come around to score. And the payoff pitch, that one is also fouled away. So hitters from both teams being very scrappy tonight and just fouling off a pitch until they get the one they like and they know that they can drive. And the payoff, yet again from McGrath. That one is also hooked foul. So we will stay at 3-2. Hill, who just finished up his freshman year at Auburn University, is tonight's extra hitter. Did have a single in his first at-bat, and this time he will do the exact same thing. That one's going to tie the game as Montgomery is being waved around to score. The throw comes in from Frederick, and we have a tie ball game here at Ken Field. A very clutch hit there by Cam Hill, as you heard the siren going on here at Dunn Field after that hit. For those of you that were not watching yesterday, the Muckdogs just implemented a new scoring sound that you'll just have to wait to hear. You'll either have to come to Dwyer Stadium to hear it, or you might hear it faintly in the background noise. It's very fitting to this team. It's actually having a conversation for the 60 of you watching right now, lower number than what I'm accustomed to, but that one is also lined in between Reinhardt and Sakowny. So a hit by Ben Shore, also his second of the game, and now the hits category is also tied up. So both teams have 2 runs, both teams have 2 hits. Or excuse me, 5 hits each. Sorry about that. But for those of you watching, a little secret for you after talking to owner Robbie Nichols, and we were just talking about after, he bought the team and what some of his plans were. And I asked him if he ever considered changing the Batavia Muckdog name, and he told me yes. There was a whole plan drawn up with the Batavia Bovines, which, for those of you who don't know, that is lingo in the cow world, as they're in the surrounding area. There's a lot to deal with that. Dairy farming, a big thing in the Genesee County area. And Oatka Milk, also being a sponsor of the Muckdogs, have a very big outreach here, and they're going to be the Batavia Bovines. And the uniforms, the logo is all drawn up. Uniforms were going to be spotted like a cow. So it's just funny to think about how things could have changed. But after having some meetings and getting to know the area a little more, as that pitch was called for a strike to Bobby Marsh, Mr. Nichols realized with how important that Muckdogs name was to this community that it was better off keeping things the way they were. Now in an 0-2 count, McGrath trying to get out of the inning with the game still tied with 2 men on and 1 out. The 0-2 pitch fouled away. It's Cam Hill and Ben Shore are both on the base pass, the Auburn teammates. Another Auburn Tiger that plays for Elmira is pitcher Jack Sokol. We've already seen him face the Dogs twice this year. So we'll try the 0-2 one more time. That one will be hit in between, and that'll get through. Georgia and Connolly can't come up with it. Being waved around to score is Cam Hill. And Spencer Marcus struggles to get the ball in, and you're up 3-2. And that rollover by Bobby Marsh will get through. Wasn't very pretty in 0-2 contact pitch like that, but just hit it in a perfect spot as both Georgia and Connolly had to run over to get it. And looks like we will potentially be having a new pitcher. Skip Martinez is coming out, and you have a Batavia Muckdog jogging on the field, and I believe that is reliever Tyler Prospero. So Bobby Marsh gets another hit. He's also accredited with the RBI, the go-ahead RBI. So McGrath's day is done as he goes 2 1/3, allowing 3 runs on 6 hits. So all 3 runs have came here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. As Prospero tries to come on in relief now. As there are runners on the corners. Ben Shore was held up at 3rd. Chris Erickson will be the man due up for the Pios. He had a single as well today. Tyler Prospero, the hometown kid from Batavia, New York, went to Notre Dame High School, a private high school in Batavia. Had a great career there. Officially goes to Niagara County Community College. Commits there for his freshman year. And in the fall, has to get Tommy John, so that was a long recovery process for him, and unfortunately, due to N-Trip being known as a great junior college for pitchers, he was not asked to come back. So he decided after his rehab process was done, he would be attending Genesee Community College, which is located in Batavia, play for the Cougars. Played there for 2 years, 2 great years. It's a lot of D1 attention, and decided after 2 years with them that he would take his talents to nearby Niagara University, where he is a teammate of Spencer Marcus. Catcher Joey Battaglia used to play at Niagara. They played together for 1 year. And then Battaglia did the opposite of what Prospero did. Prospero went from N-Trip to Niagara. Battaglia went from Niagara back to N-Trip. Runners on the corners with 1 out. The first pitch to Chris Erickson. How the zone for a home plate umpire has been tonight. Looked like that one was going to be in there for a strike, but one, I guess, is maybe a little high. Definitely was on the outer half of the plate. So here's Prospero. First man he faces. That one's hit deep out to center field. Chasing after it is Frederick. That bounces off his glove. And coming around to score will be Ben Shore now, as Erickson's in there for a double. So the first man Prospero faces, one of the runners that McGrath was responsible for the score. And Shore comes around, he'll touch home plate, and your score is now 4-2 with Elmira pouring on the runs here in the 3rd inning. As Bobby Marsh is now at 3rd and Erickson at 2nd with the double. So now here's South Trimble with the infield in yet again. First pitch is fouled off. We've seen this multiple times when these two teams have faced one another. Runs in bunches from both sides. Home opener, Muckdogs won 9-0 here for opening day. Back on June 3rd. It feels like 10 years ago with how our schedule's been and playing a game every day since then. Then the home opener the next day on June 4th. Muckdogs found themselves down 7-0 and then scored runs in bunches. I don't know where that pitch is, but looks like that slider is in there for a strike. So So we can't get the call on the outer half or the inner half. As of late, we have seen, I would say, across the board, better umpires from the beginning of the year, because zones were very inconsistent. And, you know, with these crews, it's also their first time out there in a while, as that one catches our umpire. And, yeah, that one definitely didn't feel too good. Got him right in the forearm, I believe. And I don't think that was tipped by South Trumbull, and I don't think Mortellaro got any leather on it either. As you just hate to see that. Not too sure who our umpire crew is tonight, but feel very bad for him. Looks like he might be trying to shake it off here. Our clubby Eric Mozicki with the Muckdogs running out there, trying to get him some water. Looks like he's shaking it off. That one definitely didn't feel too good. So the count is 2-2. Prospero did get the strike on that one with the swing and miss. Not too sure if it was a foul ball or not. And we get some cheers for our home plate umpire, as that one definitely didn't feel too good. We are glad he's okay. There's Mortellaro just checking in on him, making sure that he's all right. Seems like he's ready to go. So Prospero now trying to get an out, as the last out came by the first man of the inning. That one is going to get down. South Trimble tight ropes one down the line, and 2 runs will come around to score. The throw over to third will not be in time. South Trimble run triple. The score is now 6-2, as the Pioneers 6 runs this inning. This has been a long inning for the Dogs. That one's also hit into center field. Blair Frederick will glove it for the out, but now scoring on the sacrifice will be Trimble. Yet again, folks. So Trimble will also score. The 7-run inning here for Elmira. This has just gotten a little out of control here for the Dogs after getting Murad to line out to Marcus to start out the frame. It's been all Pios since then. So McGrath's day is done. Tyler Prospero trying to get out of it now, as he faces the number 9 man in the lineup, Justin Taylor. So trying to get that last out Count is 2-0. There's the righty from Batavia. That one is broken bat, and he just snapped it over his leg to finish off the job. So Justin Taylor, the infielder from Millersville University, Division II school in Pennsylvania. I believe they're a part of the SUNYAC conference. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure they are. As Taylor is up here, Gil Murad, if he gets up, be the second time this inning. As Taylor grabs a new twig, and he'll step back in the box. The Muckdogs, again, have to fight their way back into this one. Pitch by Prospero will be outside. 3-1 now. With 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Prospero gets the sign. He will deliver. That one runs in just a tad inside. Taylor throws his bat, and he will be walked. He will be the 8th base runner for Elmira this inning alone. So Gil Murad up for the second time this inning. And we've seen it earlier in the year for the Muckdogs. Can't remember who it was, but they were retired 2 times in the same inning. I think it might have been Abner Benitez. That's one of the guys that you'd never expect that from. After a big 7-run inning, and you're responsible for 2 of the 3 outs. That's just how baseball is. It's Prospero with the 1-0 will make it 1-1. The sun is setting here at Dunfield. It's kind of creeping through, creating some shadows as the Muckdogs in the infield as well as the outfield are looking into the sun. This being an older stadium built in 1939. Not really been thinking about that too much as Taylor's going to steal a bag as Connolly can't get there in time with the tag. Mortularo's throw was just a little bit off the mark. Mortularo and Prospero going to talk some things over here. Prospero tried to get the final out here with Murad. Mortularo gets back behind the plate, and they're ready to go. Now standing at second is Justin Taylor. The 2-1. That pitch, big swing and a miss by Murad. Prospero will take a look at Taylor. 2-2 count, 2 outs in the bottom of the third. That's been all Elmira. They have put up all 7 runs in this inning alone. As the pitch comes, that one's hit over Joe George's way. He's going to glove it and step on first base as the Muckdogs finally get out of this one. As they now, going into the inning, we're up 2. Now they're down 5. As the hitters due up for the Dogs, Daniel Burroway, Jerry Reinhart, and Blair Frederick are due up, and these are the situations where if you tack on those runners that were stranded at third base, you'd feel a lot better with it then being a 7-4 game. But still a lot of time for your Dogs to come back. We'll be back in just a minute. after a quick warm-up, we're back here in the top of the 4th inning. Felt like a long time since the Muckdogs have had the bat in their hands, as we are now 3 innings complete in this one. The Muckdogs had the early 2-0 lead, but after a rough bottom half of the 3rd inning, find themselves down by 5 runs. As Holden Wilder still on the mound, looking over towards the Elmira bullpen. Still no action there, as Danny Burway struck out in his first at-bat. Trying to change things here and cut away at this lead that Elmira has built for themselves. Now the count will be 2-1. During that end of the inning break, a long talk over there by the Muckdogs bench. That one's lined into left field. Under it will be Thomas. He's out number 1. Well, Jerry Reinhardt steps in. He lined out to straightaway center. To Erickson back in the first. Reinhardt so far is having a very respectable season, hitting .260. Big swing and miss on that first pitch by Wilder of the AB. It's Holden Wilder. He's done a great job getting out of jams, but also limiting the base runners since that first inning. Is the second strike to Reinhardt in this AB, as the changeup did catch the outside corner. Here's Wilder again, fouled back by Reinhardt. The sun is slowly going down, eliminating a lot of those bad shadows that the Muckdogs just had for about the 30 minutes that they were out there on defense, as the count is 1-2 to Reinhardt after that one misses upstairs. The hometown kid right there, swing and a miss, is hobbling a little bit, so interesting to see what happened. Muckdogs now have 2 down here. I'd like to remind you that so far in the season series, not counting yesterday's exhibition game, Muckdogs find themselves up 3-1, with Elmira sitting at a 6-4 record, meaning that 3 of their losses this year have came at the hands of the Dogs. So it's kind of been that pain in the side of them. So they've beat teams like Jamestown that the Muckdogs have not had success against up to this point. 1-1 count, 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Holden Wilder from Wofford College doing a great job here, as that one is lined back up the middle by Blair Frederick. And he will get on here with 2 outs, as the Xavier University at Louisiana dual left-handed pitcher and outfielder. It was a great job right there, lining one back up the middle. Former LSU pitcher. The board still isn't clear. Last count was 1-1. And that first pitch was a ball to Bryce Mortellaro from Ranger College. Just finished up his freshman year there. Coming back after a few games absent with injuries. Count will now be 2-0 to the Lakeland, Florida native. Ranger College is located in Texas. Division III program. 2-0. He's looking for something he can drive here. That might have been that pitch, but didn't feel comfortable with it. The count will now be 2-1 with Blair Frederick at first base. Frederick does have plus speed. He's just an all-around great athlete. That pitch just misses. make it 3-1. Wilder here. A little two-out trouble. Mortellaro trying to get on base. Pass the baton down to Joe Georger, who does have a single so far today. That one is hit into play over to Montgomery. Montgomery, instead of flipping it over, is going to make the throw. This half of the inning is now in the books, as that 5-run lead is still intact for Holden Wilder. Elmira trying to add to this lead in the bottom of the 4th inning, with Tyler Prospero coming back on the mound in the top of the Pioneer order, due up. So before Don Popa gets out there for the Pios, we thank one of our sponsors, Batavia Downs Gaming. Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel is the area's premier entertainment destination with great restaurants, events, and on-site hotel. Be sure to check them out at BataviaDownsGaming.com. Ficarella's Pizza. Ficarella's of Batavia is where you can get your fix to satisfy your cravings for piping hot pizza, sumptuous subs, and mouth-watering wings. Every Friday, enjoy Ficarella's fabulous fish fry. Don't forget the fixed plate, fat wraps, and all your favorite pasta dishes. And they have blueberry and raspberry barbecue sauce that tastes great on wings. So when you have that craving for delicious food, get your fix at Ficarella's Pizza on Liberty Street in Batavia. We'll quickly get this one in as well. Noah Hoy Chiropractic. This game is sponsored by Dr. Noah Hoy, the official team chiropractor of the Batavia Muckdogs, located at 184 Washington Avenue in Batavia. For an appointment, please call 585-343-9316 as I finish that ad read, and we already have one out. Don Popa rolls over. It's a grounder over to Conley for the first out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Donovan Montgomery steps in. He also was one of the many guys that scored last inning for Elmira. He was walked and later scored. He does lead the team in batting average. Prospero now with the 1-0. He'll deliver. That one is smoked back up the middle. Prospero in a crouch. Thankfully, he did not get clipped with that one, as that was a hot shot back up the middle. So with Montgomery on now, that'll bring up Cam Hill, tonight's extra hitter from Auburn University. He is 2 for 2 with a run scored and 2 RBIs. There's also Ben Shore, man that's on deck, also from Auburn. He's 2 for 2 as well. Prospero will take a look at Montgomery, who does have good speed. Take a little look over. Will not go on this pitch, as that one on the inner half will be called for a ball. It's a really nice pitch by Prospero. As if that one swung on, that's going to create a jam shot double play. Nice discipline right there. So the 1-0 from Prospero now. Big Cam Hill in the lefty's batter's box, as Prospero's going to try to keep Montgomery close, as Prospero goes to Niagara and Montgomery goes to Siena. Those two teams actually had a great series this year in the MAC Conference. Due to COVID, there was no real weekday games, all weekend series. That one's popped up by Cam Hill. Chasing after it is Blair Frederick, He's going to the wall as that ball kept traveling, and that's going to bounce off the wall. Coming after now, Donovan Montgomery's come around. Ball is finally in by Frederick, and Cam Hill gets it triple. And that ball just looked like it was just going to be a deep pop-up. And do that siren yet again for Elmira, as they're up 8-2. Now Ben Shore's up, as Cam Hill now has his third RBI of the game. Score is 8-2. Again, infield is in. That pitch will be a strike to Ben Shore. Trying to follow up his Auburn teammate. Drive him home, as Shore does not have an RBI yet today. As Prospero will look at Hill. He'll deliver home. Big swing and a miss, as there's actually ball was ticked by Shore. Goes to this very deep backstop here at Dunfield. We're learning some more history about this stadium today. Made back in 1939. It's also a football stadium, and the first ever football game under lights was played here at Elmira, which is pretty cool. Players like Babe Ruth have been here. This team was affiliated with minor league baseball, long time with the Boston Red Sox. Wade Boggs played here. A lot of other legends over the years have been here at Dunfield, so pretty cool. Pitch, the 1-2 will also be way up there by Prospero. Actually, I didn't see it, but Ethan Fresca is now at third. He replaced Jerry Reinhardt, as Reinhardt did kind of come up hobbling after one of those swings in his last at-bat. Hopefully everything's okay with him, as there's a big strikeout on a changeup by Tyler Prospero. And that's a big out right there. So now the infielders can go back to their normal positions. Ben Shore is retired for the first time today. Bobby Marsh now. Limited sample size, but the FAU first baseman has impressed so far up to this point. Cam Hill on third. There's another changeup. And that pitch has been very successful for Prospero. Just with that pitch, just has to have great location, and the fact that if that ball is belt high, can be driven a long way. Bobby Marsh 1 for 2 today with an RBI single in the third. As Prospero now deals. That's on the inner half, and now no calls on the inside part of the plate to lefties. So a little inconsistent with the strike zone here, but seeing that from both sides. Personally, when I was a catcher, I would always want to ask what part of the zone our umpire that night liked. That one is also hit into center field. Chasing back after it is Frederick, and that one's also going to bounce off the walls. Balls are flying all over the yard here tonight. Bobby Marsh will bring home Cam Hill. And 9-2 is the score. As you can probably barely hear me over that siren. So 2 runs have scored here in the bottom of the fourth, as it is shorter in center field. I believe it's right around 380, maybe 385. So in the gaps, that means it's also going to be shorter than a more prototypical field. Really haven't seen up to this point balls travel like that, other than the two balls that they're still looking for by Spencer Marcus and Abner Benitez the last time we were here in the 9th inning. As those were absolute moonshots. So Elmira's getting things going with the bats. They already have 11 hits in this one. That one's fouled away and hit out to my right. 0-2 count with Bobby Marsh at second base. I agree, Trevor. The sirens are a little crazy. 0-2 count. Here's Prospero. Settle in. In the pitch. Will be strike 3. As Erickson is amazed by the call. And we'll get out of the inning. That one might have been a little too far outside, but we'll take it. As Muckdogs now down 7 runs in this one. Going into the 5th inning. Joe Georgia, Trey Bacon, and leadoff man Cam Connolly are due up for the Dogs. So here in the top of the 5th inning on YouTube Live with more Batavia Muckdog coverage here at Dunfield in Elmira, New York. Where Batavia Muckdogs now find themselves down 9-2 with Elmira having 9 unanswered runs. As there is the contact king, Joe Georgia, with another single on the first pitch. That's where he really does his damage. Trey Bacon, 2 up now. Actually, I had no idea, but Trey Bacon is a switch hitter. And he's also wearing the Evo Shield on the wrong arm, so not sure what's really going on here. Just putting a bunt down is actually has a pretty good swing, so maybe he is a straight-up switch hitter. He does have some wrist issues going on right now, so maybe that's why I didn't know that he was a switch hitter. But you learn something new every day. That pitch is in there for a strike. So now he's getting heckled by some either fans or the bench about wearing his Evo Shield on the wrong arm. That one is hit over, and that's going to drop. So they can say whatever they want, but he's still effective if he's in the lefty or righty batter's box. And Trey Bacon, it's a looping single in the bottom of the order, doing their job, getting on base and allowing guys like Cam Connolly, Abner Benitez, Spencer Marcus, who they have been relying on, to tack on some more runs. Score is 9-2, which is in there for a strike to Cam Connolly, who is 2 for 2 tonight. Scored the first run of the ball game. Charlie County brought him home. 0-1. That pitch also swung on and missed against Holden Wilder. Looking over out Elmira's way. Still nobody warm. So we're going to keep it going with Wilder. That pitch is also high, so we've seen that tendency for Wilder just to waste one in an 0-2 count. Try to get a big swing and a miss with the pitch upstairs. Kyle O'Neill is warming up in the Muckdog pen as that one's a broken bat. Ball out to Tremble. They try to get the double play, not nearly in time, but will be a fielder's choice as Trey Bacon is out at second base. Bacon is retired on the base pass after Connolly grounds into a fielder's choice. Still, men on the corners with one out. Great situation for Abner Benitez to tack on another RBI for him this season, as there's a swing and miss on a changeup on the outer half. As Benitez, early in the year, he was the leadoff man, so he wasn't having a lot of opportunities to drive runners home. He's been used here in the 2-hole. He's hit 3, he's hit cleanup. And Cam Connolly going to try to get them in a rundown. And a nice throw by Ben Shore, but Connolly doesn't need to slide. It's tagged in the back by Montgomery. Connolly's tagged in the back by Montgomery. And now there's 2 men in scoring position. That takes away the double play ball. 1-1 count. Here's Abner Benitez. Both him and Marcus struck out with Connolly at third back in the top of the third inning. 2-1 count, 1 out. Abner Benitez at the plate against Holden Wilder. The pitch, great job of just getting a run home. Hits it to the right side, over to second baseman Tremble. And your Muckdogs are back on the board. As another fielder's choice. And they do what they have to do, moving runners along. Benitez, great job there of getting the RBI. So Spencer Marcus still in a position to bring home Cam Connolly. So first pitch will be a ball. So Joe Georgia scored on that ground out by Benitez. That pitch is called a strike. A little late strike call there by our home plate umpire. Charlie Ciccone on deck. He's have 2 RBIs after his triple back in the first. 1 for 2. That one hit hard by Spencer Marcus, and that's going to get past Taylor and the Muckdogs. Chipping away at this lead, as that is already their second run here of the inning after things were started by the bottom of the lineup with Joe Georgia and Trey Bacon. Look at a 5-run game. We've seen them come back from large deficits and make things interesting. 2-out rally here for the Dogs. As Connolly comes around to score after the single by Marcus. So County trying to get another hit off Wilder here. Now we just have 1 man up. Couldn't really tell who it was for the Pios. His first pitch will be low for a ball yet again. We'll see if Tyler Prospero will be back out there for the bottom half of the 5th, or if Kyle O'Neill will be handed the ball. As that pitch is on the outer half, very same tendencies so far for Wilder, trying to go low. He's been missing his spots, and then he tries to go to the outer half with a fastball, and he's been getting the strikes to make it 1-1. Marcus right there trying to go in motion, but County fouls it off. 9-4 is your score. Muckdogs chipping away at that lead as they have had 2-run innings back in the first and here in the fifth. The pitch by Wilder will be outside. Count is 2-2. County and then Burraway due up next. Utility man from Wisconsin, Stout. Marcus is going to be in motion yet again, but another foul ball. County this year hitting at 273. He's had a lot of extra base hits so far this year as well. 3 doubles, and there's another triple. That one will also run outside. Missing arm side is Wilder with the full count. We'll have a payoff pitch with 2 outs. Marcus will be going after the pitch is delivered. The payoff pitch will be outside, so County's going to drop the bat. Hard 90 to first base. 2 runners on now as the Muckdogs are working something here. Great at bat by Charlie Ciccone. Marcus standing at second. Daniel Burraway, DH tonight. Seen him play a lot of first base as well. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a line out to Aaron Thomas in left. Thomas does play a really good left fielder. Seen him in the corner outfield so far this year, but he is listed as a utility guy as well. A teammate of the man on the mound, Holden Wilder, at Wolford. So in the 0-1, that pitch is hit on into center field. Chasing after it is Erickson. He'll come on and make the catch. So 2 men are stranded on the base pass for the Dogs, but not after they score 2 runs. So chipping away at that lead. Score is now 9-4 with Tyler Prospero coming back to the mound for your Dogs. Back here in the bottom of the 5th inning, Tyler Prospero on the bump for your Dogs against South Trimble. 1-0 count. Trimble so far had a 2 RBI double. That takes a funny hop. Nice play by Ethan Fresca. He throws it over. And a great play at third base by Ethan Fresca. First time we've seen him over at the hot corner so far this year. Very impressive play. Aaron Thomas steps in. Prospero gets that important first out. Has to build off of it. As the Niagara Purple Eagle gets Thomas to foul that one back. There's Eric Mozicki. Gets that one. He's going to make his way back to the dugout. That one's outside, 1-1. I believe Crispy, our in-game host, is using a megaphone talking to people over there. Not too sure. There's just a group of about maybe 15 people that he's talking to in front of him, so that's a little over the top. 2-1 count, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 5th. That one also fouled back. And as Crispy still using that megaphone. Prospero gets the sign from Mortellaro. That's the pitch now from Prospero. Big swing and a miss. As Thomas swings right through it. Prospero. It's the first 2 men here in the bottom of the 5th. As Justin Taylor, the number 9 man in the lineup from Millersville, comes up now with 2 outs. Taylor so far has made a pretty good play at third, but with the bat, hasn't done a whole lot. That pitch is in there for a strike to start out the at-bat. Prospero really settling in here. Came into a less than ideal scenario after McGrath couldn't get out of that 3rd inning. He registered that first out. That one looks right down the middle, but called for a ball. 1-1 to Justin Taylor. Still got the megaphone going on down there. It's great. It's that pitch, curveball, also inside, not giving that inner third of the plate for a strike call to Prospero. So we've seen a decent amount of pitches that have been located really well, pitching to contact, but home plate umpire tonight's not budging on that inside strike call. Foul ball back to the backstop, which is, again, about 10 yards away from home plate. Absolute nightmare if you're a catcher. You have a wild pitcher on the mound. He's spiking a lot of balls because the ball gets back there. The man on base is instantly thinking he could get 2 bases out of it. It's Prospero now with the 2-2, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Inner half, and yep, unfortunately, Tyler, you will not get that call with this guy. We'll bring it up to a full count as Gil Murad is due up next for the Pios if Taylor can reach here. And the payoff, that one's hit softly into right field. Going after it is Connolly. Marcus was playing way back there. He couldn't get there in time. So instead of the strike 3 looking, have a guy on the base pass for the Pios. Murad up now, the DH tonight. We've seen him behind the plate. He's caught pretty well. Ithaca College, a Division III school. First pitch to him will be outside. Prospero trying to get out of this inning as Kyle O'Neill is still getting warmed up for the Dogs deep down the line and left at historic Dunn Field. Here's Prospero. He'll settle in and deliver. Big swing and a miss by Murad. Murad standing at 5'10", 215, so pretty big boy as a backstop. Prospero sets in. And the slider in the dirt. Makes it 2-1. Trying to get the last out here before Don Popa comes back up. He is 0 for 2 today after being hit by a pitch and scoring a run, the first for Elmira tonight. Prospero trying to get the last out here to Murad. The 2-1 hit over to Sakowny and hit right at him as Prospero is upset with himself for having Taylor reach, but no blood as Elmira does not score in that inning. The first time since we've been in the second inning that they have not put a run on the board. Batavia's still down in this one by 5 runs as the score is 9-4. We will see the first at-bat of the night for Ethan Fresca, as well as Blair Frederick and Bryce Mortellaro, as they are having their kids run now. They aren't allowed to go on the dirt, so interesting, but we'll take a quick break and be back here in a minute as we go to the top half of the 6th inning. And here in the top of the 6th inning, we have a juicy storyline here as Wilder's day is done. And pretty much the opposite of a fan favorite in Batavia, Kevin Serrano, the little pitcher and utility man from Corning Community College. He's listed at 5'11" and 155. I'd say that's a little generous, but he's in to pitch now against Ethan Fresca. As Serrano might have been one of those guys that I was alluding to earlier that was saying some choice words to not just players but coaches and as well as people on our Diamond Dance team. So very interesting for a guy from Corning Community College be the big man on campus for the Pios last night. Count will be 3-1 as he's all over the map with that fastball. Ethan Fresca in a 3-1 count. Pitch by Serrano. That one's going to be a walk. Fresca flips the bat and he gets the free pass. Could see a few more of those if Serrano keeps pitching like that. Batavia's down in this one 9-4. They are losing the hit category, though, only 12-9. So a big discrepancy as, well, Elmira has done a little bit better job with attacking runners home. So here is Serrano with the quick move. They think he got him. And he is called safe. So here is Serrano. He will deliver home another ball. That is 5 straight. Now is Blair Frederick, who is 1 for 2 tonight, steps in. With Ethan Fresca standing on first base. Little man Kevin Serrano will try to pick off yet again. And he will be safe. Two up next is Bryce Mortellaro and then Joe Georger, as well as Trey Bacon. So bottom half of the lineup, and we've seen them perform very well so far. And Frederick will take another ball. And it'll be time for Ben Shore to go out there and see what's going on with Serrano. I would probably think that it's done intentionally, that the first time he throws this year is the day after some interesting things that him and fellow Corning Community College big man Sam Polanco are back in the lineup, as they were saying some things last night. And looking at my stats, this is the first time Serrano has pitched this year, so I don't think that's really any coincidence in the world that that's going to happen today. So he finally gets a strike in. It's 2-1 to Blair Frederick. Seen him on the mound. He will be back out there for the Dogs in the coming days, as they're trying to keep Ethan Fresca close at first. Comes Serrano. We'll get the sign. The pitch. 1 late strike call. 2-2 to Frederick. Getting some motivation from his teammates. Great time here to get things going and keep chipping away at that lead. As the score is 9-4. No outs here in the top of the inning. That's a rollover. Stepping on it for 1. They try to fake throw it over, and he will move Ethan Fresca over to second base. So now there will be 1 down after the unassisted ground ball out by first baseman Bobby Marsh. Now Serrano will face Bryce Mortellaro. Mortellaro up to this point 0 for 2. Still trying to get things going with the bat. Right now, Bryce is hitting 133. Serrano's going to talk to Shore yet again. Man on second base and 1 out. A day removed from the exhibition game where the Muckdogs had a walk-off win in the bottom of the 9th inning. A lot of action ensued in that one. Some of it stems from the man on the mound. That one will be outside for a ball. Tried to get a slider in there. That was way up there with little movement. 1-0 count. Pitch again will be low. So Serrano struggling with command here. Not really sure about how much he pitched at Corning. I know that they had a pretty rough year this past year. Him, Polanco, and Bryce Yeomans all play at Corning. 2-0. Fouled away. It's a good pitch to swing at. And again, the protective netting does not really go too far around the bowl here at Dunfield. So a lot of balls that are not just fouled straight back, they're going right into the seats. So fans always have to make sure that they're keeping their eye on the ball game. 2-1. They take a look at Fresca at second base. Here's Serrano again. Not even close. 3-1. With Joe Georgia due up next, has 2 base hits today and has scored a run. The 3-1 here for Bryce. Doesn't want to expand the zone. Right now you just really have no idea where it's coming from by Serrano. And the pitch. That one is hit over to the left side, but foul. Full count. 1 out. Bryce needing to battle, and a full count with 1 out, and Fresca at second base. And the pitch, that one is popped up. Chasing after it is Ben Shore. He tries to get there in time, and he cannot. He has to run a long way back to try to make a play on that one. So Bryce stays alive, gets a new life. Trying to get another base runner here. Excuse me, there is 1 out in the inning. Thought that I pressed that on the score bug, but I guess I did not. My apologies. Full count, 1 out. In the top of the 6th. Pitch by Serrano. That one is hit into right field, and that one is going to be caught, but Ethan Fresca easily will tag on it. So a sacrifice opportunity there by Bryce Mortellaro. Looked off the bat. It was going to be hit a little bit farther than that, especially keeping in mind how we've seen balls travel so far today. Well, there's 2 down with a man on third. The Muckdogs have struggled in this position up to this point. The man just 90 feet away from scoring. Joe Georgia steps in. Serrano will be from the full. First pitch changeup for a strike. Joe Georgia talking to our umpire for a second, and he'll step back in the box. Pitch by Serrano yet again, swing and a miss on the changeup. Joe Georgia takes a step out to collect himself. Doesn't want to go down on just 3 pitches here in this scenario when you're doing everything you can to get back into this one. Muckdogs down 5 runs at this point in the ball game. The 0-2, that one is hit over, and that's going to drop. A very great piece of hitting by Joe Georgia. As it take another one back. 5-4 is your score. Double-digit hits for the Muckdogs, with 3 of them coming off the bat of Joe Georgia. And an 0-2 hole was a little early on those changeups. Really lets the ball travel there. And a great at-bat by the corner infielder from Washington University at St. Louis. So here's Trey Bacon, batting again from the right side in a righty-on-righty matchup. Bacon pops that one up and foul. 0-2 again that Serrano finds himself ahead in the count with. Here here in the 6th. Trey Bacon trying to do the same thing he did last at-bat, fight some pitches off, then get another base knock for his first multi-hit game as a Muckdog. That one close near the head area on an off-speed pitch. I don't think he's thrown a slider for a strike yet today. As Serrano gets the sign, he'll come home yet again, and another slider way off the map. 2-2 with 2 outs. Trey Bacon at the plate from Tallahassee Community College. A pitcher and a middle infielder. Still waiting to see him play in the field as he's still recovering from a wrist injury. 2-2. Fouled away. Trey Bacon is grinding away with this at-bat. Bottom of the order has had really, really competitive ABs today. 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Dogs. That one check swung. He did not cross the plane. The count is full, so AB started at 0-2. Trey Bacon clawing his way back into this at-bat. Full count, 2 outs, top of the 6th. Man on first is Joe Georgia, with the Muckdogs down 4. The number 10 man in the lineup gets the pitch from Serrano, and you could have guessed it, he fouls off another one. Bacon doing whatever he can to get on base in this scenario, and based off how erratic the pitching has been from Serrano here, you'd just like to guess that at some point he's going to have another pitch outside. But here is Serrano from the stretch. He goes, and a great at-bat by Trey Bacon. The best I've seen all night long as he comes back from 0-2 for the free pass. Now here's Cam Connolly. 2 for 3 in this game so far. With yet another triple to add to his stat sheet. He's really getting a chance to play some second base here with Caden Walton being beamed for, I believe it was the 9th or 10th time so far this year. Yesterday, got him right in the ankle area. He might be out for a few games as now we have some Muckdogs getting bit by the injury bug. Swing and a miss there by Connolly in the first one. Another slider that is not located for a strike. 1-1 count with 2 outs. Muckdogs are trying to get another run on the board here in the 6th. Joe Georgia did have an RBI single earlier in the frame. There's another pitch in the other batter's box by Serrano. From Corning Community College, again listed at 5'11", 155. Pretty generous. Connolly steps in. He's ready to go. So is Serrano. The 2-1. Fouled away. Muckdogs are ready with double-digit hits. They're still down 4. Connolly here with 2 men on. Georgia standing at second. Trey Bacon at first. And here is Serrano's 2-2. Fouled away again. Again, Muckdog hitters doing whatever they can to keep their at-bat going. How things have trended so far up to this point. The longer the at-bat goes, the more erratic the pitches will be by Serrano, giving them a better chance to walk. It's 2-2, 2 outs in the top of the 6th. The pitch will be outside to make it 3-2. Again, alluding to what I was just saying, making the at-bat continue, giving Connolly a chance to succeed. It's in this situation, you just want as many base runners as possible, because sooner or later, they're going to knock them in. Another 3-2 count here in the top of the sixth. That one is fouled away. Runners again in motion with it being a full count and 2 outs. Getting a little jump if the ball is hit and play by Connolly. Leadoff hitter in the Muckdog order here. Abner Benitez due up next. He's 1 for 3. Spencer Marcus is also 1 for 3. Both have an RBI as well. Cam Connolly now fights it off again. That pitch jammed him inside. But he does whatever he can. As these are, I'd say by far, the most gritty and grinding that I've seen these Muckdog hitters have so far. Teams like Geneva that they've played 2 times already, they do a great job at that. Just fouling off as many pitches as they need to until they get that pitch that they know they can drive. And even if they don't drive, they're putting the ball in play. It's an approach that we've seen this team take as of late. And another 3-2. Could have guessed it, fouled away. As lots of fans are getting souvenirs here tonight in Elmira. Gotta love it. Lots of balls here today. Another 3-2 coming here from Serrano. And a 2-2. That one is put into play, and that one will get down. Coming around is Joe Georger. And he will score. What an at-bat by Cam Connolly as the Muckdogs. This just shows how resilient this group is. As they get another run to cross. They've scored all the runs so far today in pairs, as that's the 11th hit for the Dogs. Runners on the corners now, and they keep passing the baton around as we're just going to give a handshake to Serrano. His day's done. Couldn't even get out of an inning. He looks a little stressed. And he will go back to the bench with a new pitcher coming on for Elmira. Can't tell the number yet, but he's taking his sweet time coming to the mound. After Cam Connolly picks up his 3rd hit of the day. It's probably one of the best at-bats that I've seen in a long time, especially at this level. And coming from a guy that hasn't even played collegiate baseball yet. He is going into his freshman year. Makes it even more impressive. Georgia comes around to score. I believe the new pitcher will be Alex Sweeney, somebody that we saw hit in yesterday's game. Sweeney goes to North Essex Community College. Comes into a tough spot here with 2 outs and runners on the corners. During this time, we would like to thank some of our sponsors. Tompkins Bank of Castile. Tompkins Bank of Castile is a community bank that was founded back in 1869. They now have 15 offices in 6 counties across the Western New York region. Services include complete lines of consumer deposit accounts and loans, business accounts and loans, and leasing. In addition, insurance is offered through an affiliate company, Tompkins Insurance Agencies. Wealth management, trust, and investment services provided through Tompkins Financial Advisors. Also, Batavia Downs Gaming. Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel features restaurants including the Burning Barrel Barbecue, Fortune's Italian Steakhouse, and Labatt Blue Zone at 34 Rush. It's food and fun, just how you want it done. Ficarella's Pizza. Ficarella's of Batavia is where you can get your fix to satisfy your cravings for piping hot pizza, sumptuous subs, and mouth-watering wings. Every Friday, enjoy Ficarella's fabulous fish fry. Don't forget fixed plates, fat wraps, and all your favorite pasta dishes. And they have blueberry and raspberry barbecue sauce that tastes great on wings. So when you have that craving for delicious food, get your fix at Ficarella's Pizza on Liberty Street in Batavia. And after all that, we're ready here for baseball as the right-hander Alex Sweeney, who we have seen pitch as well multiple times this year, comes in a big spot as the Muckdogs taking a little bit of that momentum, slowly but surely. 2 outs, and that one is hit over the right side to Tremble. And first pitch that Sweeney throws, he says, "Let's go." And the inning is over. Not after Muckdogs get another run. They now make it a 3-run ball game. Your score is 9-6 heading into the bottom half of the 6th inning. Bottom of the 6th action, we have the top of the lineup due up for the Muckdogs as Tyler Prospero's back out there. Only allowed 1 base runner in the last inning. We face Don Popa here, who is 0 for 3. So this Elmira team has been pretty stagnant other than that 7-run 3rd inning. It had 5 hits. That one's slicing foul. Kyle O'Neill still getting warm, but with Prospero doing as well as he is right now, they're going to keep riding him for as long as they can. This game is absolutely not out of reach. There's another pitch by Prospero. That one's popped up into fair territory. Ethan Fresca calls off Bryce Mortellaro and Prospero. And Don Popa, who we've seen be a very big bat in the Pioneer lineup, is 0 for 3. After the F5, we have Donovan Montgomery up now. He is 1 for 2. Scored twice. Had a hot shot back up the middle that almost clipped Prospero. That one is hit out to right field. 1 pitch to Montgomery and another out. So Prospero has that type of dog mentality, trying to keep the Pioneers stuck at 9 runs. Cam Hill now. Now you're starting to get into those guys in the middle of the lineup that have really succeeded for the Pioneers. That one inside. Don't think it was that close for comfort there for Hill, but he really snapped back on that one. Cam Hill backwards on the back door, from Prospero with that slider. Cam Hill so far 3 for 3, 3 RBIs. to score 2 runs as well. That one will be fouled away. 1-2 now. Cam Hill finds himself down in the count, 1-2. Prospero delivers home. He's fouled to the backstop. Dogs are down 3 runs in this one. They do lead the season series 3-1 in games that do count towards their record. If you want to also add the exhibition game in there, Muckdogs are up 4-1. Here's Prospero yet again. Takes his time in the windup, comes home, and that one, he just hasn't got that call all day, and that's extremely frustrating if you're a pitcher when you just are completely eliminating an entire part of the zone. It's mostly a strike. So Cam Hill now evens it up at 2-2. Now here's Prospero again. Change up. That one's hit into center field. Chasing after is Frederick in the hole. And a nice grab by Blair Frederick as Prospero goes 1-2-3. And he was just talking to the umpire about something. That 3-run deficit will be stuck there as the Muckdogs are going to try to get the bats rolling yet again, heading into the 7th inning with Marcus, Ciccone, and Burroway due up. Again, guys that you know you can rely on, as Alex Sweeney will be back on the mound for the Pios. As the momentum is kind of shifted in this one with the Muckdogs gaining some ground back after the score was 9-2. The score is now 9-6. As the first pitch to Spencer Marcus was a ball. Thank you all for watching here on YouTube Live. More Batavia Muckdog coverage here at Dunn Field in Elmira, New York. These two teams have played each other a lot last night. I'm going to come out and say it. They kind of became rivals. These two teams are both owned by the same ownership, but due to the fact of how much they've been playing one another, it's pretty evident that they don't really like each other as Donovan Montgomery makes a pretty nice play there. I was kind of confused because he tried to flip it over, and the ball was on the ground, so he's going to make his way all the way back there. Montgomery taking a little victory lap of sorts, I guess, for catching that one. Here is Charlie Ciccone now. He is 1 for 2 with a walk, has 2 RBI triple under his belt here today. Pitch from Alex Sweeney. One looks like it caught the outside corner. Might have been a little low. Sweeney quickly gets back to the mound, gets the sign. That one will also be low. So now you kind of hear the Muckdog dugout start to gain some more life as this game is in reach for them to come back with. Haven't really heard too much from Elmira since the big third inning where they scored 7 runs, and then also in the fourth when they tacked on 2 more. The 2-0 was called for a strike. Muckdogs trying to get over 500 as they currently sit at 5-5. If the Muckdogs do pull out the comeback victory here today, both teams will be sitting at 6-5, and due to the head-to-head series being in favor of the Muckdogs, they would go up to 3rd place in the Patriot League division, then trailing Jamestown and Geneva. That one's put into play, and that one will get down. Charlie Ciccone gets things going here. As once we've seen a base runner with, either no outs or 1 out, the past few innings, we've seen things start trending in the right direction for them, as both teams are now knotted up at 12 hits apiece. So Ciccone reaches after the single, and Daniel Burraway up now. He is 0 for 3. And that one is popped up into left field. Burraway upset with himself on that one as Thomas fans over and catches that one. Now Ethan Fresca comes up. Tony Brewington, the assistant coach, first base coach, giving a little assist there to Eric Mozicki. Fan up there is giving some instructions for the defense, saying body it up with 2 outs. After the fly out for Daniel Burraway, he is 0 for 4. Makes the situation 2 outs with the speedy Ciccone at first base. First pitch to Fresca is a strike. He was the first man that faced Kevin Serrano in the last inning, and walked and later scored. That one fouled away. 0-2 hole now. We've seen these Muckdog hitters do a great job in battling back with 2 strikes. Sweeney's ready to go. He's getting the sign from shore. Now here's Ethan Fresca from Land O'Lakes, Florida. And the pitch will be outside. Fresca this past year attended University of South Carolina Union. Middle infielder, 5'10", 195. There's Fresca. Finds himself in a 1-2 count with Ciccone on. That one is fouled away. Off-speed pitch got him out in front, but he gets some wood on it, and he's still alive. It's Blair Fredericks due up next. He is 1 for 3. Also have to remember that Fresca was a pinch hitter against Serrano, as Jerry Reinhart went out of the game with some type of lower body injury, it appeared. Not too sure. I'll have to keep you guys updated after the game with what happened with that and what the severity is, as Sweeney has another ball. So Fresca now fighting with 2 strikes, as now the count is 2-2. Ciccone takes his lead. Ethan Fresca at the dish in the top of the 7th inning. The Muckdogs are down 3. We are trending into the latter half of this game. Sweeney with the pitch, another foul ball. It's a very resilient group of guys that are very tight-knit. And they're all bought in to this culture that is being built here in Batavia, as it is their first year as a part of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. Elmira, much more established. You know, Robbie Nichols has owned this franchise now for the past 10 years. And with all that success and notoriety, we can now take that blueprint and translate it to Batavia. And I think that it can be even better in Batavia with some other aspects of community. And there's a runner, Mr. County, getting involved with the community, the type of fan base that we have in Batavia, as well as the crowds that we've been getting, have blown out the old regime. They were affiliated with minor league baseball. So a 2-2 count. To Ethan Frasca. At Dunn Field, the third time that we have been here so far this season. Almost at the halfway point, 3 of 8. Pitch from Sweeney will come home. That'll also be low. Excuse me. The count is full. Great at-bats here for the Dogs. Sweeney will get the sign as Frasca steps back in. County will be going on the pitch. So they keep trying to build on this comeback. Pitch. That one, late strike call, looked on the white. Sweeney's pretty hyped up. And that will be the end of the inning, as County will be stranded at first base still. 2 innings left for the Muckdogs to come back, and Tyler Prospero continues to say, give me the rock, and good things will happen here, as he will now face Ben Shore, Bobby Marsh, and Chris Erickson. After we have the seventh inning stretch, I need a break as well, as this one has been a wild one here on a Tuesday night in Elmira. So Sweet Caroline still being sung. Tyler Prospero's toeing the rubber, but I guess they're going to make him wait. So I think our home plate umpire was liking the song, so he kept it going. And the first pitch to catcher Ben Shore will be fouled back. Ben Shore so far, just like his Auburn teammate, Cam Hill. Both have had great nights, multi-hit games. Ben Shore was struck out by Prospero in his last trip and is threatening to do the same thing here. As he finds himself in a 0-2 hole with Prospero ready to go. And Prospero is a very intense guy. Over the years, he's been working on controlling those emotions, and we can see here how he is a seasoned veteran with the 0-2. Pitch just missed. That was the same spot as Ethan Fresca's in the top half of the inning. Can't get the call there. So it's Ben Shore, Bobby March, and Chris Erickson. Marks has had a 2-hit game as well with 2 RBIs. Chris Erickson also has a 2-hit game. That pitch will be in there for a strike, and Shore was given the chair, and he's going to walk back to his dugout. He's the first out here in the inning. Second strikeout for Ben Shore against Tyler Prospero. So talking to Tyler earlier today, he said, "Griff, I want the rock today. I'm feeling good, feeling determined after last night." And you can tell he was really feeling it earlier in the game. Took him a little bit to settle in, but since then, he has been absolutely grooving. As Prospero gets ahead in this one now, 0-1 to the first baseman, Bobby Marsh from FAU. Prospero gets the sign again from Bryce Mortellaro. Been a pretty good duo so far. That pitch is also in there. Nice slider from Prospero. He has retired now 5 straight. The Pioneers could get a 6th right here in March. So the 0-2 is hit over to Frasca softly at third. He bobbles it, and after the first bobble, you could tell that wasn't going to be good, as it'll be the second Muckdog error of the night. And for a guy that is not a traditional third baseman, you could just tell with the footwork, it was a dribbler, kind of went towards the lip. There is a soft spot where Frasca is kind of stepping towards now, just to the right of the indent cut in the grass, that there's just nothing there. Might have clipped off that, kind of took a weird hop, you never know. That is the second Muckdog error here today. Is that one? I don't know where that one missed, but that was a great off-speed pitch by Prospero. And Prospero opened his mouth in disbelief, as he's not gotten many generous calls, as that one is smacked in to the gap, and that one might get all the way to the wall. Grabbing it now is Frederick. 1 run will score, and Chris Erickson now has a triple, as he has a single, a double, and a triple now. And unfortunately, folks, we have to hear the horn yet again. So Erickson comes up big after non-strike call. Erickson gets a RBI triple. His first RBI of the day is now coming out. Will be Skip Martinez, and I believe that they're going to say Prospero's day is done. He had a great appearance in relief, keeping this game stationary at 9 runs for a very long time. As Kyle O'Neill will be coming into the game for the Muckdogs. Kyle O'Neill from Felician University will be given the ball as Prospero's day is done. Take this time to thank our sponsors yet again: Batavia Downs Gaming, Ficarella's Pizza, Alex's Place, Eli Fish Brewing Company, Noah Hoy Chiropractic, Tompkins Bank of Castile, United Memorial Medical Center, and New York 529 College Savings. We thank you for your support to keep baseball here in Batavia, as O'Neill will get his warm-up pitches. We'll take a quick break, but we will be back to finish up the 7th inning coverage here at Dunn Field. So Elmira tacks on one more run here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Your score is now 10-6. A new pitcher in the game for the Muckdogs, Kyle O'Neill. O'Neill's first batter face will be South Tremble, who has a triple as well with 2 RBIs. Other than that, hasn't done a whole lot. He's in this spot. He has 1 out with the infield in to the number 7 hitter in the Pioneer lineup. So the count is 1-0, as we have seen O'Neill in a few appearances so far. Sorry about the camera angle. And that pitch was swung on and missed for a strike. The George Mason infielder, South Tremble. There is the 1-1. That one is also way outside from O'Neill. Kyle O'Neill so far this year has 2 appearances, 2 2/3 innings pitched, letting up 3 hits on 4 runs, allowing also 3 walks. It's a 13.5 ERA, but still with that limited of innings, pretty small sample size. O'Neill from Islip, New York, as he gets his first strikeout there against Tremble, coming back in the count and retiring him for the 2nd out. His first batter face goes down on strikes. So now here is Aaron Thomas. Thomas today has not done a whole lot either. Struck out a few times today. As Kyle O'Neill trying to strand the Siena infielder / outfielder, Chris Erickson, on the base pass, as that one is fouled over the top of my head here in the press box. Kyle O'Neill, 5'10", 180 pounds. Division II school, Felician University, that's located in New Jersey. Has a career 9.16 K per 9. high school, was a New York Perfect Game honorable selection back in 2017. Just finished up his junior year at Felician. He's a teammate of Michael Florides there at Felician. That is down. So Thomas finds himself in a 2-1 count now. And Thomas from Wolford, utility man, but kind of finding his role here with the Pios and left. The pitch will be there by O'Neal. Great pitch on the outer half. O'Neal really does have almost a side arm slot. It's very tough for the righties to be able to see where it's going, pick up the spin, and then also make a nice hit like that as Aaron Thomas smokes one past Frasca. You have to hear that sound And now Elmira's lead grows back to a 5-run deficit, as Elmira is now up 11-6 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 14 hits for Elmira. Muckdogs just have 2 less than that at 12. And now here is Justin Taylor, the number 9 man in their lineup from Millersville. Plays a pretty good third base over there. We've also seen Bryce Yeomans. He goes to Corning Community College. Play there as well. From what I've seen, I think Yeomans brings a little bit more offensively to the table. Taylor is just a little bit more reliable defensively, and that's why he gets the start there. So the 1-1 count. The man on first in Thomas. Thomas does have some speed. That changeup will be way outside for ball 2. Two outs here. Now you have, in this situation, the force at second and first. O'Neal will now deliver back home. That pitch is swung on and drilled out towards left fielder Abner Benitez. Going to third is Aaron Thomas. He will be safe. And safe into second base will also be Justin Taylor. So another extra base hit as the hit total for the Pios reaches 15 now. As this is the most impressive hitting performance that we've seen for them so far this season. We haven't done much since that 7-run, 5-hit inning back in the third, but to build something up here yet again as they have scored 2 runs. And almost have gone through their lineup as Gil Murad steps back in. Murad so far today is 0 for 4. First pitch is outside by O'Neal of this at-bat with runners on the corners and 2 outs. That one will be outside by O'Neal. Nobody else warming up for the for the Muckdogs. Just have standing up is Carlos Rodriguez and AJ Winger. Not throwing any pitches yet, however. So the 2-0 from O'Neal to Gil Murad will be on the outside corner, called for a strike. 2-1. So they're in a great spot to add to this lead. That one, big swing and a miss by Murad. 2-2 count, 2 outs. 5-run lead now for the Pioneers. threatening to add to that. So here's the 2-2. Big swing and a miss. O'Neal gets out of it with 2 runners in scoring position. So a big spot to limit the bleeding, as that could have gotten way out of hand. So 2 times left for your Muckdogs to try to keep coming back here, as they will now have the bottom of the lineup up, but reliable hitters in Blair Frederick, Bryce Mortellaro, and Joe Georger, who already has a 3-hit night, due up in the top of the 8th inning. We'll be back in just a minute. Eighth inning action here on YouTube Live with more coverage of your Batavia Muckdogs. It's Alex Sweeney still on the mound, now facing Blair Frederick. As the first pitch to Frederick will catch the outside corner for a strike. Frederick so far today, 1 for 3. Saw his first pitching appearance this past Saturday against the Niagara Power. He did have a great outing. Sweeney tries to mess up with Frederick's timing there with a funky, almost Johnny Cueto, Marcus Stroman hold there when he delivers home. And it was a ball. That next pitch will also be upstairs. So the count is 2-1 to the duel, the former LSU Tiger and current Xavier University at Louisiana star. That one's fouled away. One of the best NAIA programs in the country. As we're still awaiting the confirmation that one of his teammates at Xavier, Jonathan Allen, will hopefully be joining us. Still has to get some things cleared with his military obligations. Hopefully that can get all squared away, because he'd be another great arm to have. You can never have too much pitching. So now the 2-2 from Alex Sweeney will also be outside. So the North Essex Community College pitcher makes the count full to Blair Frederick, as he's trying to be the leadoff guy to get on base here for the Muckdogs. That pitch will be low for a ball. Frederick will be the headlight as he reaches on the free pass. There's Bryce Mortellaro now. Bryce is 0 for 2, did have a sacrifice fly that had Ethan Fresca tag up and go to third in his last trip. Like I mentioned before, Bryce is still trying to get things going a little bit with the bat. He's been a great catcher behind the plate, very reliable back there, as well as a great leader. He's really accepted that role with the Muckdogs this season. He is well respected in the Muckdog clubhouse. Now has a Excuse me, 1-0 count. That pitch will be in there to make it 1-1. Frederick at first base. On a Tuesday night here in Elmira, New York. Tomorrow the Muckdogs will be back on the road. Same schedule as last week with the Elmira game away and then have to go back to Jamestown. So 2 pretty substantial road trips for the Dogs. After that, we'll be back on the road again, going into the weekend. I don't like to look too ahead. I do kind of get a little lost in the days, but I know that there's a home-and-home series against Niagara coming up as well. As that one's hit back Sweeney's way. He makes a great play for 1, and he will also get 2, as that one was a hot shot back at him. And he's pumping his chest, saying, I got you guys. There's a double play. A 1-4-3 double play. Now here's Joe Georger. 9th in the lineup, but he's there for a reason, to just kind of be that guy that towards the end of the lineup, you know, in situations where the guys in front of him get on, he can get runs home like how he did in his last at-bat, but as well in this situation to start things up. Georger with 2 outs now in the inning, a 1-0 count. Alex Sweeney. That pitch will be called strike. Haven't seen too many inside strike calls to lefties so far today. There is Sweeney yet again. That one big swing and a miss on the changeup. And some cheers from the home dugout. And the 1-2 now from Sweeney. And with the pitch now. That one swung out and missed. So Sweeney's hyped up. Georger's upset with himself for expanding the zone with that swing. And after the double play, Sweeney making a great snag at it. Muckdogs will be back on defense with a new pitcher coming into the game. It's Nate Novia. Nate Novia will come into the game in the bottom of the 8th inning with one last chance in the top half of the 9th. If the score stays the same, they need to at least get 5 runs to force the bottom half of the inning. As we will take a quick break here in the middle of the 8th with Nate Novia taking his time to warm up here as he will face the top of the Pioneer lineup in just a few minutes. Back here in the bottom of the 8th inning, Don Popa up. Nate Novia ready to go for the Batavia Muckdogs, as we saw him in the win against the Newark Pilots on Sunday. Came in and with a 5-0 lead, shut the door at the final 2 outs of that game. So trying to work on some mechanic things as he gets the strike call. So getting some more confidence as the season goes on. Novia, originally from Leicester, Massachusetts, goes to St. Thomas Aquinas College in New York. A great changeup there. As Nate Novia had to get Tommy John back when he was in high school. Stayed an extra year and just finished up his freshman year at St. Thomas Aquinas, a ranked Division II school for most of the season. Not really have much going on this past year in terms of appearances with the team. But he's getting his reps in now that will absolutely be helping him to get some more time and innings next year at St. Thomas Aquinas. As Popa fouls 2 balls away, and the count will stay at 1-2. So if Elmira stays in the lead, this would be their last ups of the game. So it makes sense for them to want to get a few more. They're up a lot in this one. That one's hooked and way foul by Popa, but got a lot of wood on it. It's the Muckdogs still trying to stay alive in this one as they are down 5 runs. They have 6 runs on 12 hits and 2 errors. That one bounces, gets away from Mortellaro. Two and 2 count from Nate Novia. He's in the top of the Pioneer order. Don Popa has had a rough day so far, still looking for his first hit. And what has been a big game for Elmira, you would expect a guy like him to be joining on the fun. Just hasn't been his day so far. 2 and 2 count to Popa after fouling his 4th pitch of the AB. Novia trying to win the battle with another pitch here and another foul ball. Already with double digits in this at-bat alone. Doing that math quickly in my head, and another foul ball. So Novia asking for a new ball. They might be waiting on some more after all those ones fouled away. And Popa and Novia are kind of talking to each other. University of Pittsburgh outfielder. That ball is dropped or thrown back in, not too sure. Umpire getting things settled, and we'll be back with action right here. Novia gets the sign from Mortellaro. And the pitch. Big swing and a miss, and Novia wins the battle. He points to his dugout. And a great way to start for the Muckdog reliever. So getting the leadoff man to strike out. Then Montgomery steps in. He's had a decent day at the plate, scoring 2 runs. Just 1 hit. He's also been walked. 1 for 3 outing for the Pioneer shortstop. That one will be low. Thank you all still watching tonight's coverage here at Dunn Field in Elmira. You all will tune in tomorrow night as well. 2-0 count. looking at Montgomery, it kind of reminded me to mention Elmira. With them having that lead so far, they've played error-free baseballs. He hits one over to Scouty at short. Nice throw over, and 2 down now for Nate Novia. He looks like he's really improving and trusting his stuff a lot more compared to some of the other times that we've seen him. Cam Hill, the number 3 man, steps in now. He's had himself a day. Will probably be the player of the game for the Pios. He is 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs. Big swing and miss against Novia that time. 0-1 count to the right-hander from St. Thomas Aquinas. With the pitch, that one is a split finger or maybe a circle change that doesn't make its way all the way to the plate. 1 count. Cam Hill trying to get his 4th hit of the night. This has a triple. Lots of triples so far for the Pios, but this one's hit on the ground, hits County's way yet again, and they do still get the out. Looks like Georgia was still trying to find the bag. Nice recovery as Nate Novia then goes 1-2-3, bringing up the last ups for the Muckdogs. They need to at least score 5 runs to force the bottom half of the 9th inning. Due up first will be extra hitter Trey Bacon. Coming to the top of the lineup, Cam Connolly, Abner Benitez, and Spencer Marcus, as they're trying to work, again, some late game magic against the Pios. Try to go over 500 for the first time this season. Now here in the top of the 9th inning, Elmira will have their 4th pitcher of the outing, David Ferguson, who played first base yesterday for the Pios in the exhibition game, will be in to pitch now in his normal spot. So I actually, on my sheet, don't have school for Ferguson, but he's 6'6" and 220 pounds. So a late addition to this Pio roster. Actually be from the University of Pittsburgh. It's a late addition with Popa. So here's Trey Bacon back again the righty batter's box. They have a lot of work to do. Let's see what they can do. Bacon today does have a hit. and has been walked. So reached base safely twice. 1-1 count here in the top of the ninth. That pitch is also in there. It's a lot of leverage for Ferguson with him being 6'6". So he's just throwing straight down. Pitch from Ferguson. That one is chopped foul. Cam Connolly is on the on-deck circle. Awaiting is Abner Benitez. And if it gets to that point, Spencer Marcus is also ready to go. Cam Connolly so far, 3-hit game yet again. Abner Benitez, 1 for 4, as that one will be a ball. 11-6 is your score with Elmira, as Batavia got out to a early 2-0 lead. Got 7 runs in the third inning and haven't looked back since. As that one is going to beam Trey Bacon in the shoulder with an off-speed pitch, so did not look intentional. As Trey Bacon will be the headlight yet again, reaching base for the third time of tonight. Man on first, Cam Connolly, the leadoff man in the Muckdog order, steps up to the plate. Looking for his first 4-hit game as a Muckdog. Trey Bacon at first base. Gets adjusted. Quick talk between Shore and Ferguson. Hit Panther. Here's Connolly. The first pitch to him will be upstairs for a ball. Muckdogs continuing to wear those red jerseys that they've had success in as of late. 1-0 will be in there for a strike. Nice pitch by Ferguson. Here on Superhero Night at Dunn Field. Seems like a decent crowd. Again, it's really tough for me to look. I would rather not fall and die a miserable death. 5 stories in the air. Another off-speed pitch in there for a strike. 1-2. Cam Connolly trying to protect now. Trey Bacon takes his lead. And the pitch will also be high yet again. Elmira Pioneers currently sitting at 6-4. Increase their chances to, depending on what happens with Geneva tonight, to become the 2 seed in the division. And the pitch will be upstairs yet again. Full count again. Cam Connolly has been grinding at bats all day long. The full count with no outs. 1 runner on in Bacon here in the top of the ninth. 5-run lead as that pitch will be fouled over the press box to stay alive. Connolly steps back in, trying to protect and trying to have this 9th inning rally for the Muckdogs. The pitch by Ferguson. That one is lined into center field. Chasing after it is the center fielder, Erickson. He will come down with it. Now Ferguson has his first out here in the ninth. There's contact by Connolly, however. Abner Benitez steps up. Benitez 1 for 4 so far, cooling off from that hot start that we saw just a little bit. Coming back down to earth is a better way to probably put it. But still hitting above 350. That pitch will also be low. Also not, so far at least, a multi-hit performance for Spencer Marcus. He has just 1 hit and 4 at-bats with 2 strikeouts. Combined hits for this game, 27 between both teams. That pitch on the inside corner will also be a ball. So 2-0 now to Benitez. In his last 2 at-bats, he has grounded out to the second baseman, Trimble. Bacon takes his lead. Ferguson will deliver, and that pitch in the same spot will now be called a strike. 2-1 now to the Alabama State outfielder. Just finished up his freshman year, Abner Benitez. Ferguson yet again, that time a little bit different of the delivery. Kind of came from a sidearm 3/4 slot. We haven't seen up to this point. 2-2 count, 1 out. As Ferguson will get set yet again. He'll come home with it. That is a changeup that is just a bit outside. So another full count here. Benitez trying to keep things going here in the top of the 9th inning for the Muckdogs. The pitch will be inside. Abner Benitez will be the second Muckdog base runner so far this inning. After hit by pitch to Bacon and then the walk to the Muckdog left fielder. Now here's Marcus up in a big spot. He has continued to find these big situations and has excelled in them tremendously. Spencer Marcus now, that pitch is outside for a ball. Trying to get a double play ball to end the game. Spencer Marcus heading the count 1-0. Marcus, that pitch will be in there to even it up. The Niagara University Purple Eagle did not see much time this past season with Niagara. He is right now playing the best baseball of his life. And his coaches at NU are going to be very pleased with his progress. That slider will run inside. Muckdog bench trying to get their team back in this one. 2-1 count, 1 out. Spencer Marcus will watch that one be a strike. Count is 2-2. Spencer Marcus trying to not go down on strikes for the 3rd time today. The pitch from Ferguson. That one will be lined into the outfield as Aaron Thomas will grab it. And a little looping single into left field will load the bases for the Dogs as they are building something here. Slowly but surely. Now with the bases loaded and Charlie Ciccone up to bat. Dogs get their 13th hit with that one. Another multi-hit game for Spencer Marcus. The pitch from Ferguson will be high. One to 0. The base is loaded. Pitch will also be a ball. 2-0 with the bases loaded. Here's Ciccone. Watches that one be a strike right down the middle. The Muckdogs find themselves in a great spot here. Still down 5 runs. Still need a lot more to happen, but they are working the count and getting runners on. And the pitch from Ferguson. Sidearm, that one looked way outside, and that one's called a strike. Interesting call there. Now the count is 2-2. 0-2, 1 out. Bases loaded. Pitch will be outside yet again, but it'll be a full count instead of a walk. Well, they're getting some homegrowns from the fans here at Dunfield. Muckdogs gaining some momentum. As Ferguson's running into some problems here with a full count, 1 out. That one way inside, and Sakani will have the RBI walk. Your score is 7-11, with the bases still loaded and 1 out. And this one is far from over here at Dunfield. Daniel Burraway, the DH, still looking for his first hit today, is up. So County gets his 3rd RBI of the day on that one. And they're going to talk to Ferguson quick, and he'll be the guy, as there is one arm warming up for the Pios. Daniel Burraway, the DH, again in a big spot. Daniel Burraway, after 4 straight balls that time to Sakani. One was called for a strike, but it was outside. That one is a strike to Burraway, who has struggled so far today. And the pitch, that one hammered but foul. That one, game time run, is at the plate as the Muckdogs are down 4 with just 1 out. Burraway now in an 0-2 count. Ferguson will get the sign. He's in the full. The pitch from Ferguson. That one's lined. And again, the Muckdogs find themselves in a horrible spot. A double play with the bases loaded. And your Muckdogs will drop another close one. As Elmira gets the win. Score is 11-7. Your final here at Dunfield. As the Muckdogs will now drop to 5-6 on the season. Elmira now goes up to 7-4 as the Muckdogs still have the series lead at 3-2. Coaches are still out there as the victory formation for Elmira. That big 3rd inning with 7 runs for Elmira was the difference in this one. And tomorrow we will be in Jamestown to face the Tarp Skunks. Thank you for watching this edition of Batavia Muckdog Baseball on YouTube Live. I'm Griffin Della Penna signing off, and we will see you tomorrow in Jamestown. Have a good night.